Going on, Jerome's. We're back. Take a look at another pro football focus mock draft. The latest from our guy Mike Renner over there doing some damn work. And there's some shakeups. There's some interesting things going on. So this is a top 18 draft. All the teams on the outside of the playoffs. Sad day. So fire things up. Number one, yeah. So Trevor Lawrence. Can they just draft him now? And Mike points this out too. Can they just do that? Because I swear to everything holy, if whoever the new GM in Jacksonville is, and also head coach Urban Meyer, if they take the full 10 minutes on the clock, they should lose the pick. They really should. Number two, Jets taking Zach Wilson. Now, Joe Douglas getting his guy, because remember, Mike McCagnon was the one who drafted Sam Darnold. Now, I do think that is sort of blowing smoke, trying to gin up a trade market for Darnold, saying like, well, I mean, we could just roll with him. I don't believe it. So he'll get his guy. He'll have the choice between Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, and the rest of the field, pun intended. But yeah, trading Darnold, I don't know. You might actually get a 2 for Darnold, because say a team is in on one of the secondary quarterbacks like Trey Lance, or maybe there's some passing interest in trading up for Justin Fields, doesn't happen, or maybe Mac Jones or Kyle Trask, they don't get him. They're like, okay, Sam Darnold's still on his rookie deal. In. Number 3, so the Dolphins. This is a prime trade down spot if a team wants to come up for one of the remaining quarterbacks. In this case, it'd be Justin Fields. But I mean, if the Dolphins are stuck here and they just go stick and pick, if they don't go quarterback, or if they don't trade for Deshaun Watson, if they're going to roll with Tua for another year, you may as well protect him. Penny Sewell, I don't care where you play him. Play him at left tackle, right tackle, either the guard spots. Yeah, just plug and play the best offensive lineman in the draft, and then you'll just go from there. Yeah, it's pretty easy, right? Number 4, so the Falcons, but you got the Niners coming all the way up. Yeah, the Niners going from 12 up to 4, getting their guy Justin Fields. Now, John Lynch has been aggro in the past, where if his guy is there, he's going to go get it. Notably last year when Brandon Ayuk was falling down the draft, trade up to the Vikings at 25 to go get him. So I get that they're getting their quarterback of the future. And, time is over for Jimmy Garoppolo. They're going to let him go. It's negligible against their cap. But I believe in Justin Fields, where specifically in this spot. Now, his pocket awareness and all those other knocks against him have been on full display at times of the season. You look at the Indiana game, look at the Northwestern game. But, I mean, the way that he handled Clemson, the way that he may handle Alabama tonight, although, I don't know, Nick Saban, and you give him 10 days to prepare for a game, okay. Yeah, okay. But I think that Kyle Shanahan will work hand in glove with Justin Fields. I think he'll accentuate his movement skills. I think that he'll keep the bad aspects of his game to a minimum, similar to how Kyle Shanahan did it with Kirk Cousins in Washington. And also using him in a primarily West Coast scheme, and then also using him on some read option. I think that Kyle Shanahan, man, that's a great pairing, and I would respect the hell out of the Niners if they go up and get their guy. Next up is Cincinnati, number 5. So the miss out on Penny Sewell is a little bit too early for Slater, a little bit too early for Darisaw. It's fine. Would ideally like to go offensive line, but certainly could do that in the second and third round. But getting Jamar Chase, getting Joe Burrow's number 2 guy. That's right, Justin Jefferson's number 1. I actually feel like Jamar Chase is being underrated because he opted out for 2020. Like, people forget how redonkulous he was in 2019 with his 20 touchdowns, absolutely dominating. Now, part of it is because Justin Jefferson was taking up all that coverage, but yeah, getting Joe Burrow, a guy that he knows, loves, and trusts, a big step. 6. All right, so here's where we get nuts. So 6, the Eagles going no pants for Trey Lance. Ooh, if this happens. Wow. Now, under this scenario, I'm guessing that they traded Carson Wentz. But you spent a second-round pick on Jalen Hurts. And then when Hurts was in, he looked damn good. Now, Mike talks about how he got benched in Week 17. I don't read anything into that. Jalen Hurts is a baller. He's the future of Philly. Get him some weapons. Like, this is a great spot for Jalen Waddle or Devontae Smith. So hell, maybe even Kyle Pitts, even though they already have 2 good tight ends. Although, Hurts seems to be on his way out of town. Also, isn't Goddard ready to be a free agent? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I don't agree. I don't agree, because now you're going to have this weird quarterback controversy, even though Hurts is certainly no neophyte in that regard. But, I mean, Trey Lance, if he has to go out there before he's ready, those fans don't deserve him. They don't. So This one I don't agree with, and it would definitely like raise a couple eyebrows. Number 7. So I got the Lions. This would have been a great spot for Trey Lance, to be honest. Potentially Matthew Stafford moving on. All the wide receivers potentially could be gone, but they go edge in this spot. Michigan man staying home. Kwity Paye. Now, Romeo Okwara is going to be a free agent. Trey Flowers has been whatever, the big free agent signing from the Patriots. But getting their guy in there who can set the edge, who can rush the passer, all those things where if and when Matthew Stafford does opt out, or not opt out, but decide he wants out of town, the new GM, the new coach, they're gonna have a lot of problems. But yeah, keeping Paye in state and getting a consistent pass rush up front, I mean, that will ease a lot of burdens. Number 8. So the Panthers did again. So the Panthers last year just sat back there and then Derek Brown just fell into their laps. And now they do the same thing where another amazing defensive player just like, oh, hey, come join Matt Rule's super fun, amazing, fast defense. So Micah Parsons coming in, speed on speed and speed, pairs with his former teammate Yetur Gross-Meadows. He's going to play some linebacker. He can rush the edge. He can do all those things. But it's ridiculous, man. Put him with Brian Burns. Put him with Jeremy Chin. Put him with the aforementioned Derek Brown. That's gross. I hate it. I hate it, man. Number 9. Just kidding. I love it. Number 9. The Broncos picking up Patrick Surtain coming out of Alabama, first cornerback off the board. Now, A.J. Bowie, probably going to be cut, is already suspended, so makeover in that cornerback room. Vic Fangio gets his guy, so yeah, but just trying to rebuild that secondary that's either aged out or suspended or both. So, number 10. So I got the Cowboys. Now, Cowboys taking cornerback seems like a hand-in-glove fait accompli, but so they miss out on their Bama pairing with Trevon Diggs, second-round pick from 2019, but still picking up Caleb Farley. And Farley, I think, might be like Jamar Chase, might be like Twyman. I mean, the guys who opt out, same thing with Rashawn Slater, guys who opt out, you forget how friggin' good they are. Like, Caleb Farley was going to be the number 1 cornerback in this draft for a reason, and he's still up there. Absolutely is. He's long, press man guy, can absolutely get after it. So now the Cowboys are trying to rebuild their secondary, and they got a nice pair of cornerbacks to start with. 11. So the Giants, the draft day slide for Devontae Smith halts at 11. Broadway Devontae, I kind of like it. So Daniel Jones has a bunch of wide receiver 3s and 4s, masquerading as wide receivers 1s and 2. Although I do like Slayton, Sterling Shepard's whatever. But they need a big play guy for the big market, and Devontae Smith can do it all. He's a big-time receiver, can consistently get separation. I don't care that he looks like he weighs 40 pounds, and also can get after in the return game as well. So, yeah, the Giants need some firepower on offense. Saquon Barkley gets back. All of a sudden, the Giants get really interesting in the NFC least. 12. So I got the Falcons trading down from 4 down to 12. They pick up a little bit of extra sugar as well. Pick up Kyle Pitts from Florida. Now, they're in a rough spot. So, I mean, the new GM, the new head coach, could want their quarterback of the future, but they whiffed. I mean, if Trey Lance, sorry, I combined that. Trey Pants, no pants for Trey Lance. If he had fell down to 12, I think that's an easy pick because Matt Ryan is 36, can't play forever. But Kyle Pitts in this spot, just another matchup nightmare. And yeah, I know the pickup Hayden Hurst in free agency, but if you had him in fantasy, you know how frustrating that is. But Matt Ryan getting another matchup nightmare to go with Ridley, to go with the remnants of Julio Jones. I really like this pick in terms of just going BPA. And Kyle Pitts is a hard guy to slot in because you look at where he could potentially go. I mean, he could go anywhere from 5 all the way down to the 20s. It just really is crazy, even in a weak tight end class. 13, so you got the Chargers. Yeah, offensive line no matter what. So no Penny Sewell. You could go Darisaw in the spot. I wouldn't understand it. Rashawn Slater come on down, or hell, maybe even Wyatt Davis. But just getting some bodies that can keep Justin Herbert from flatlining here makes a lot of sense. And Slater, I actually do think that you could trust Slater on the blind side, even though he's not going to test out with the longest arms or the height that you ideally want as a left tackle. I think that he certainly is serviceable. I think that he definitely can get that done. So him on Justin Herbert's blind side, or at minimum a high-end guard, absolutely. 14. So the Vikings go with Gregory Rousseau in this spot. Now, I warmed up to Rousseau. Did some more thinking, did some more film work on his 2019 season. And so I was going about it backwards. So you think about Gregory Rousseau, edge rusher. Okay, does he have the bend to consistently win all the time on the outside of speed rush? I don't know. I don't know. But also, moving him around is his biggest asset. Like him at 3 tech, him at 1 tech or 0 in some sub-package spots. I mean, wow. just getting after it. And you saw how DeForest Buckner, first team All-Pro DeForest Buckner, can disrupt an offense. And I think Gregory Rousseau has a little bit of that in him, where you're not consistently just going to have him. Oh, Daniil's on the left side, Rousseau's on the right side. Maybe eventually, once he becomes more of a technician at the position. But what you can do is you can kick him inside on passing downs. You can stand him up as an outside linebacker. You can put him as a hand-in-the-dirt defensive end. You can do a lot of really interesting things with him. So, I'm definitely more on board than I was in the last couple weeks just after thinking about it. And actually, that's okay. Once you have more thinking about it, once you have input of new information, or you relook over some older information, you're like, oh yeah, that sort of makes sense, and that's okay. I feel like the biggest problem with draft fans, draft social media, draft whatever, is that we get so stuck in our trenches and like we will never change our mind no matter what you tell me, no matter what. Josh Allen is actually bad. It's okay, but yeah, the Vikings are 14. If they don't take Rousseau, I think this is a really interesting spot where it's an inflection point for a potential trade down, where you have Darisaw, you have Leatherwood, you have Sam Cosmi, you have Azeez Ujulari on the board, you have Mac Jones there, you have Jalen Waddle, where you have a lot of Davion Nix is still there, Xavier Collins potentially, Wyatt Davis, Barmore, etc. So you have a lot of guys that the Vikings could see relatively equal on their draft board, as opposed to just going BPA, but also other teams, it takes two to tango, right? So when you're looking at a trade down, another team has to trade up. So now it has to be either a scarcity at a position of need or relative position value. So maybe a team really wants Mac Jones, and they know that the Patriots at 15 could potentially go Mac Jones in that spot, so they want to leapfrog him. That could create a market. Maybe a team is really in on Rousseau, because I think it is pay. It is Rousseau. I would put Azeez in there as well, but it is more of a what's your type of flavor for an edge rusher. You could look at Jalen Waddle. Maybe a team is really enamored by Waddle, and they look at, okay, it's Bateman, it's Terrence Marshall, it's Rondale Moore, the rest of that wide receiver strata beyond the top two. So it's like, okay, maybe, but if the Vikings are stuck and have to stick and pick, I mean, you could do worse than Rousseau. Although, man, you have Rousseau, you have Azeez, you have Darisaw, you have Leatherwood, you have Ujulari, you have Davion Nixon, you have Wyatt Davis, you have Barmore. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, man. All right, so 15. Got the Patriots taking Mac Jones no matter what. Bill Belichick gets his guy. Where people forget. So people forget like 2016, 2015, 2007 Tom Brady, where he's putting up 4,000 yards and 40, 50 touchdowns. But at the beginning of his career, he was a distributor. He was a game manager. He was a dink and dunk guy, right? So I think that Belichick wants to get back to that old school power running, taking care of the football, distributor at quarterback. And I think that Mac Jones, he could see a lot of early career Tom Brady in Mac Jones, where big school, played phenomenal in big-time games, and was just an overall winner, a guy that competed at a big-time program, and never fussed about playing time, but whenever he got on the field, he balled. Right, so I think that there's a lot to like about Mac Jones for Bill Belichick, and they ain't running back with Cam Newton, so there we go. 16, the Cardinals getting Jalen Waddle. Ridiculous. So Fitz is retiring, long time, yeah. But you got Nuke, you got Christian Kirk, you got Isabella. Now you add Jalen Waddle. Woo! Let's go, Cliff Kingsbury. Really go 5 wide. Just screw it. 17, the Raiders picking up Azeez Ujulari, just trying to get some semblance of edge rush opposite of Max Crosby. Makes a ton of sense. I love Azeez, and Matt Gruden, whoever the hell defensive coordinator is going to be, probably Lovie Smith is going to love him as well. And then 18. So the Dolphins picked up Penny Sewell at 3, but picking up Jeremiah Owusu Koromora, the coverage linebacker for the Dolphins. I like it. I like it where even though Brian Flores is a big-bodied, 3-4 Belichick Parcells throwback guy, in today's modern NFL, you got to change things up. So having a coverage linebacker who basically operates like a safety is going to be a massive asset. Plus, you look around the division. I mean, the Patriots are going to get up off the mat. You're going to have Zach Wilson and the Jets. You still have Josh Allen to contend with. So makes a ton of sense where you pick up a linebacker that you can put in the middle, cover a lot of ground, and you can really be flexible what you do, especially in sub packages. So that's it. That is the old top 18, Mike Renner's Pro Football Focus latest mock draft. What are your thoughts on our thoughts of their thoughts? Nailed it. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support that work? Post on the Venmo. But until next time, Skol production value.